How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Millsysaurus, and welcome back to another episode of FIFA 16 PSG Career Mode. This is part 12. We have we are underway with an epic journey with Paris Saint-Germain Career Mode. I'm gonna apologise if I sound a little bit off tonight. I'm just fighting off of a cold right now, and I've got a very sore throat. So I know this seems like the worst idea to be using my voice right now, considering that there's a lot of talking to be done. But I've been so excited to play FIFA, I just couldn't resist. And it's going to be a long night tonight. I might eventually go into my living room and to continue broadcasting, or I might just shut off early. But I've had a very miserable week this week. I mean, despite how happy I look in my previous videos, I've had a very miserable week. Work has been getting me down a lot, but I don't really want to get into my personal life at the moment. I'm not here to, tear open my heart and express myself in front of the camera. I'm just here to enjoy another game of FIFA. So I just want to remind you that I am not looking to do this as a career. This is just a hobby of mine that I like to do in my spare time. I'm just your average, normal, southeastern lad who does have a job, a social life, and a very beautiful girlfriend. And I just instead of taking drugs or drinking tons of alcohol or getting up to a lot of mischief, I've decided, hey, running a YouTube channel and recording gameplay on my PlayStation 4 and uploading it onto my YouTube, kind of satisfied my I don't know my need for something. I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm just talking a load of mumbo jumbo at the moment. I'm kind of nervous and I don't know why. But how about we just get on with the gameplay and go with the flow and see what happens. Having a little recap, the January transfer window is just around the corner, and from memory, we were discussing exactly the transfers that we might be possibly signing. We are still in our first season. We are going to go through everything once we get to February. So please be patient with me. To all of my non-existent fans, I just want to quickly mention that I do not own the rights to FIFA. I do not own the rights to any of the players you see before you. Any music that you might hear, though I have turned it off in my game. Just in the general, I don't own the rights to any of this game. I'm just playing FIFA 16 under my own roof, my own time, for my own personal enjoyment. Now, this is a public broadcast at the moment, so there are going to be quite possibly random people popping in and out, giving some feedback, maybe even kicking back and enjoying the video. That's absolutely fine, though. Once it's uploaded onto my YouTube channel, I make it a private video for my own personal enjoyment, as well as my family and friends. But enough jibber jabber, let's get on with the game. Jesus Christ, a life story. So, we are going to go into my shortlist, and I'm just going to quickly run through all of the players that we have previously discussed. We did talk about all of these players, so this is why I'm quickly scrolling through them. You can pause if you like, but I highly don't recommend it if you've watched the last episode. Now, I do remember mentioning Javier Hernandez as the last person, or one of the last people that I may sign on a pre-contract. So this is the way I play, okay? I'm going to sign. I've saved up a ton of money. I've got about $150 million to splash. And none of that is going to be towards the transfer funding. It's going to be towards the wages, because all of these pre-contracts, if you are 23 and over, you can sign them on 6 months and under. You can sign them on for free. And basically, you don't need the club's permission. You can just sign these players, create a deal with them, and they are yours in the next season. Unfortunately, I can't get them out. Can't get them now, but I'm actually quite happy about that. That's pretty cool because I want to really focus on my first squad and second squad for the rest of the season, as we are doing really well. We haven't had a game in some time. We've just been talking away about the transfer window because I know this is going to be a very long couple of episodes. But I just need to get up my this website I recommend highly for any FIFA player. It's called Futhead. Once again, I'm going to mention how I hate the name of the website and wish that they could take that down. But on this website, unfortunately, I don't have the technology or equipment to show you whilst doing this. So on there, I've just gone on to players, FIFA 16 career mode players, and there's a little tab that says contract, and then you scroll down and it says contract until 2016. And I've said this once and I'll say it again. You see straight off the bat Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Now, he was on a 6-month and lower contract, but I struck a deal with him straight in the summer window. I won't waste no time with that beast. I won him in PSG through and through until he retires. Of course, I do have a rule. If you hit 35 years old and you're not 88 overall and over, you are off. You are out of the squad. I don't care what you say. I mean, of course, I might make the odd exception of the likes of like Ibrahimovic, who's just a club legend. But you never know. I might change my mind. I might change my rules here and there. But I'm going down the list and I'm legit signing every player who has their contract expiring. That is 80 overall and above. And believe me, there is a lot of players. So we are going to continue with the likes of Roman Shirokov. So we're going to come out of this and search for all of these players. So the next one we have is Roman Shirokov. I might as well type in their surnames as it's easier to find. So he's a centre midfielder, 34 years of age. We might not sign him due to the fact he might turn 35 in season 2. So it might be a case where we just sell him off straight away. The next following players, they're only going to be players who I might sign. It's either might sign or not sign at all. All these players are just a little bit that more poorer in performance, and it could be just a bunch of old farts for all I know. But then again, it could be some really decent players. You can be the judge of that. I don't know these players off by heart in real life. Next we've got Balsufa. Right, so it's Balsufa. So his first name is Mubarak. So Balsufa Mubarak, 31 years of age. He's a centre attacking midfielder. I'm getting my scout to scout him, despite the fact that I can see all of his attributes now in this website. But coming up next is Montolivo, or Montolivo. I really can't pronounce these names, guys, so please bear with me. You know, I'm not entirely great on pronunciation with foreign names. His first name's Ricardo, so there he is, a centre midfielder. 30 years of age, report completed. Let's add him to the shortlist. It's nice that I don't have to have him scouted. So, and hi, look, I've got someone watching already. Hey, I'm Ilzisaurus. Welcome aboard. I'm in the middle of discussing who I'm shortlisting for the upcoming January transfer window. If you are interested, stay tuned. I'm just your average gamer. I'm not looking to do this as a career. I'm just doing this for a hobby. I don't own the rights to any of this game. I'm just here to have some fun. So kick back, grab some popcorn, get yourself a drink, and enjoy. I'm currently shortlisting players who have a 6-month and under contract remaining in their respective clubs, who I hope to sign for season 2. My initial plan is to sign a bunch of players to make profit on them, so they're either going to be loaned out, play in the squad, or just sold straight off the bat. And we've just come off from Montolivo. I've just mentioned for my broadcast recording that I'm not very good on pronunciation. So the next player we're going to go for is a striker, and his name is Palacio. And like I mentioned before, I'm using a website known as Futhead, so it's Futhead. It's a very funny name, but please, I do recommend using it in order to get the scoop on all of FIFA players in terms of their overall, their start skills, weak foot, all the information you need to know about them. And the only downside to those players is about this website, is the fact that you can't find out all of their positions, which is kind of sucking. I don't know of any website that shows you all of their positions. That would be really handy for future preferences. But this guy's called Rodrigo, Palacio. I can't see him. There we go. The striker who's 33 years old, so maybe a couple of seasons you could get out of him. Probably another player I would just sign and sell off in the next season. Coming up next, we have Daniel Agger. Daniel Agger. Why do I recognise that name? Daniel Agger. There he is. That's a centre-back. 31-year-old centre-back from Broadby IF. I think that's in Sweden. Blonde moment. But then we don't need to have him scouted, so that's good news. It's less work for my scouts. The next player is Arbeloa. Now, this is a player who I will be looking forward to signing because I know he's from Real Madrid, and I just know in real life that he's not a bad right back to have. To have any player from Real Madrid is just kind of awesome, to be honest. But call me sad, I don't know. I just think he might be a welcome addition to the team. Do you know what I mean? I'm not just bigging him up because he's from Real Madrid. I just naturally think he's a good right back. The next one coming up is a bit of a funny name. I think it's Tito. It's just Tito. I don't know why that's a funny name. I guess it's because I was going to pronounce it as Tito. But it's the right back which I'm after. Tito, who needs to be scouted. And I'm going to add him to the shortlist. So far, all these players have 7 months and under before their contract expires. Now, this guy I have heard of, Macon, from Roma. Somebody who I might have to consider bringing into the squad. Not guaranteed, but, you know, I do want to entertain the idea. Now, this is the only thing that bothers me. He is 34 years old. And I do have a policy for those who have just joined the video. If you are 35 years old and you are not 88 overall and over, you get sacked. It's that simple. I sell you off. I terminate your contract. I do what I can. It's just a policy of mine. It gives the squad a bit of room to bring in someone new. That's just the way I play. If you don't like it, tough. If you do like it, hey, what's up? Moving on, we've got Stefano Muri, a centre attacking midfielder. I think it's Muri. Yeah, Muri. You can correct me if you want, if you feel like wasting your time. The Cam. Mauricio Molly, and that's not it. Stefano. Where's Stefano? I can't see him unless I'm a bellend. There we go. Oh, 35 years old. This is a great example, ladies and gentlemen. If I see that 35 years old, I am not going for it. There's only one player in my shortlist who I want to use as an experiment to try and test to see if I can bring him over from a club he has been in for more or less his entire career. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's none other than John Terry. I just want to experiment to see if it's possible in this FIFA game to convince him to come over to PSG after all the years he's been working at Chelsea. Now, moving on, someone that puts a big smile on my face. Now, this is me being completely biased. He is a quality centre midfielder. I am naturally a Manchester United fan, but the likes of Michael Carrick to be in my squad, even though he's 34 years old, would be phenomenal. But again, if he turns 35 by the time the season 2 starts, I'm going to ditch him. It's as simple as that. But we are going to add him. We don't need to scout him. It's nice just to bring a Man U member back into the club. Unfortunately, this guy is going to be in my radar. He's an Arsenal legend in Rosicky. I think it's Thomas Rosicky. That's right, Rosicky. I can't pronounce it. But there you go. 35 years old. He's retiring at the end of the season, so we can't approach him regardless. I wouldn't have approached him anyway because he's 35. But best of luck to you, mate. It was about time. He was getting awfully old. And I wonder if he's going to retire this season, in real life. Now, I've got here Francesco Totti from Roma, a central forward. But I can see that he's 38 years old. But let's just make sure. They're 39 years old and he's still going strong at 80 overall. That is ridiculous. But there you go. It says right there he's retiring. About bloody time at 39 years old. I don't hate on any player that continues his career up to 40. But, you're not very valuable at that incredible age. Now, moving on. Another player who has caught my eye. Robbie Keane. It says 35 years old here. He is in LA Galaxy. It would be nice to bring another player from America over, but we're going to test it out. I know there's a lot of Keens in this game, but I'm a bit keen to bring on Robbie. Get it? Get it? No? No? Okay, fair enough. But there you go, 35 years old. I cannot bring him over. He's way too old, and unfortunately we're going to move on. But and that is all she wrote. I can see on my list here on this website that there is no more 80 overall players with a 6-month expiry contract. Now, I'm just going to have a little quick whiz down the list of 79 overall players to see if anybody tickles my fancy. And I'm just going to check on the next page. If nobody grabs my eye, then I will move on. It's that simple. There's one at 31 years of age. Emmanuel Adebayo, Emmanuel Adebayo from Spurs. That could be interesting. Frank Lampard, but he's way too old. Gaston Ramirez from Southampton. I don't know if there's anybody else. Johnny Evans. Do we bring Johnny Evans? But that's 78. That's just way too low. Especially for what I'm asking for. Kolo Toure. Oh, damn. Do I go to the third page? Do you know what? Sod it. Sod it. We could just check the free agents next season and see what they're saying there. I am hoping to check out the free agents or players that have been listed on loan. But that about does it, guys. And I think we are about ready to get into the transfer window of January. Just a quick reminder of the players that I do have on the transfer list. We have got Traore. I have no intention in keeping him. He's coming up to 6-month expiry on his contract. He doesn't fit into the squad. I've researched his potential. It's not good enough. And he is not worth any money at all. I mean, 350k is not a lot of money. $4,000 a week. I could use those wages for somebody else. He's got to go. And the 3 players that I have on short-term loan, or I would like to be on short-term loan, is none other than Kim Pembe, Caligari, and Augustine. Augustine is the only player out of the 3 who I actually see having a future. Now you can see there he's 69 overall. He's only needing 1 more overall to be eligible in the second squad of PSG. That is one of my policies. If you are 70 overall and over, you are eligible for the second squad. For the first squad, it has to be 80 and over. That's just the way I play. It makes me comfortable. It makes me happy. So that is all. That about does it, guys. I seem to be struggling with things to say. I try to not repeat myself too much with my silly quotes. I try to come up with some new material. My missus always laughs at me when she hears me from the other room. But just a quick reminder before we get started as well on the loaned out players. You can see right there. I can only see a couple of players who I want to stay into the squad in Season 2, but we will get into that a bit later on. But guys, I know you're buzzing. I'm buzzing. I'm so excited for the January transfer window to get started. I don't want to waste any more time. Let's fucking do this. Excuse the French. And let's get a move on. I do not want to be wasting any more time. Let's go on to the 31st of December just to make sure we're not missing out on any emails. 2 emails. We've got a press conference. It's for the Lyonnais game. We're going to do what we normally do and motivate the squad. Player returns from injury. Pastore is returning from injury. That is brilliant to know. I want to get him back out there. He is a very fine midfielder of mine. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. But I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way, and I'm going to just sim it to the 1st of January so we can get those emails that the January window has started in transfers. 1 email already, important transfer market information. We know all that jazz, and it's time to kick it off. But before we do, guys, I'm going to leave it on a cliffhanger. This is your boy Millsysaurus. We are on FIFA 16, Paris Saint-Germain career mode, part 12. I'm going to see you on part 13 for the January transfer window. You guys have been waiting for far too long, but I'm just going to make you wait just a little bit longer. Peace out, guys, and I'll see you next time.